Starlight Defense Station screamed. Not just alarms, but the very hull vibrated with a desperate hum as Captain Alara watched the tactical display. Red dots, 1,000 of them, swarmed across the screen. The Vorlag Empire had found Lyra. "Report!" Alara barked, her pale hands clenched, not trembling. There was no time for that. 150 vessels, Captain. Confirmed heavy cruisers, battle destroyers, and 2 planet killers. Lieutenant Kao's voice cracked. Planet killers. Ilara knew the terror these ships inflicted. Worlds glassed, billions extinguished. Lyra's peaceful people, her 3 billion souls, were next. "Time to impact?" she demanded, voice like steel. 36 hours, Captain. They're accelerating beyond their projected speed. The chaos rippled through the command center. Their technology, built for discovery, now seemed tragically fragile. 20 patrol ships, designed for mining and research, were a mockery against the Vorlag Armada. General Theron burst in, his face grim. "Outer colonies are gone. Artemis, Zephyr, Solara, all reduced to ash. No survivors. 10 billion lives, extinguished." The silence was deafening, punctuated only by the relentless beep, beep, beep of the sensors. The Galactic Council. Dr. Vela, chief scientist, pleaded, desperation in her voice. Theron shook his head. "Too slow. By the time they debate, we'll be ghosts. Nearest Allied fleet is 5 days out." 5 days. Alara stared at the tactical display. General Xylo, the Vorlag commander, was a legend of brutality. He collected worlds like trophies. There would be no mercy. "The emergency beacon," Dr. Vela suddenly said, her eyes wide with a desperate spark. "The ancient long-range transmitter in the deep archives. That antique?" Kale scoffed, but hope, fragile and desperate, flickered in his eyes. "Its protocols are centuries out of date. It's useless." "It's our only chance," Vela insisted, already scrambling to a forgotten console. "It can broadcast across half the galaxy. Someone might hear." Theron's jaw tightened. "Do it. Send the message to every system, every dead zone. Cast the net wide." Vela's fingers flew. This ancient beacon, a last resort built by their ancestors, hummed to life. "What's the message?" she asked, looking to Alara. "Tell them who we are," Alara commanded, watching the Vorlag advance. "Tell them we are a peaceful people with families and children. Tell them the Vorlag are coming to annihilate us all. Tell them we are helpless. Beg for help, from anyone. From anywhere." Vela typed furiously, describing Lyra's beauty, its peaceful civilization. Their 3 billion innocent lives hanging by a thread. "Message transmitting now," she announced. The ancient beacon thrummed, vibrations shaking the very foundations of the station. Across the galaxy, Lyra's desperate plea hurtled through the void, a tiny fading cry for salvation. Hours bled into minutes. The Vorlag fleet surged closer. Still no response. On Lyra, civilians were herded into deep underground shelters, families holding tight, whispering final goodbyes. The end was coming. Far away, light years from Lyra's dying hope, on a blue world orbiting a yellow star, something impossible was about to happen. The gargantuan dish of the Arecibo Deep Space Monitoring Station was winding down its night shift when every alarm in the facility suddenly shrieked. Dr. James Park cursed, slamming his hand on a console. "What the hell?" His screens exploded with impossible data, an incoming transmission from deep space, coded with undeniable mathematical intelligence. "Rodriguez, get over here. We got something big," he yelled. Maria Rodriguez stumbled over, spilling her forgotten coffee, her eyes glued to the monitors. "This is impossible, James. It's from the Vega sector, 25 light years out. And it's not random noise." Minutes later, every major space agency on Earth was ablaze. The message was broadcasting on multiple frequencies, raw and desperate. At United Nations Space Command headquarters in Geneva, Admiral Sarah Kane, head of Earth's Unified Space Defense, was already on a secure line. Her entire career had prepared her for this. "First contact. How fast can we decode it?" she demanded, striding into the comm center. "Running it through every protocol," Dr. Chen Lu, chief linguist, replied, wiping sweat from his brow. "The mathematical portions are basic. But the rest, it's like they're using very old translation software." "Then fix it," Kane ordered. "Get me the Security Council. Emergency session." Now, around the globe, scientists worked with manic intensity. The breakthrough came from Dr. Robert Singh, an MIT grad student specializing in archaic computer languages. "It's not wrong, Admiral," he explained via video link. "It's ancient, like centuries old. The database is totally outmoded. Can you fix it?" Kane pressed, her voice tight. "Already on it," Singh replied, fingers flying. "Give me 2 hours." 2 hours felt like an eternity. World leaders locked into emergency sessions. Finally, Singh's voice crackled through the speakers. "I've got it." Patching through the translation now. Silence. A calm, artificial voice began to speak. "To any who receive this message, we are the people of the world, Lyra. We are a peaceful civilization of 3 billion souls. We have families, children, and dreams, just as you might. We face complete destruction in less than 36 hours. A chill ran down Kane's spine as the message continued. "The Vorlag Empire has invaded our system with 150 warships. They have already destroyed 4 of our worlds, extinguishing 10 billion of our people. We have no military capable of stopping them. Our children cry in fear. Our elders prepare for death. If there is anyone out there who can hear this, please help us. We do not wish to die." The message repeated Lyra's coordinates, technical data on the Vorlag fleet, weapon capabilities, estimated time to final assault. The comm center remained utterly silent. Finally, Admiral Kane spoke. "Get me the Security Council. Full emergency session. Every leader, every military commander. Now." Within hours, every major nation's representative was on a secure video link. The alien message played in full, translated into dozens of languages. The response was immediate and unanimous. "We have to help them," Brazil's president declared. "But we've never even made contact. How do we know it's not a trap?" The German chancellor protested. "The data checks out," Kane cut in, voice sharp. "Deep space sensors confirm massive hostile activity. Something big is happening. What's our capability in that region?" The British Prime Minister leaned forward. General Marcus Webb, head of the Global Defense Force, activated a holographic display. "Our entire deep space fleet, operational within 18 hours. 800 ships. Destroyers, cruisers, carriers, and 12 dreadnoughts. 800 against 150, Japan's Prime Minister mused. "But we know nothing of their technology. We know they're genocidal murderers," the Russian president stated flatly. "That's enough for me." The debate raged for hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. Humanity had spent centuries preparing for hostile contact. They had built weapons and ships designed to protect Earth from any threat. Now, for the first time, they would use that fleet to protect someone else. The final vote was unanimous. Every nation, every fleet. Admiral Kane stood as the session ended. "All fleet commanders, this is Priority Alpha. Immediate deployment. We launch in 16 hours. Around the globe, massive shipyards roared to life. Crews, training for decades, finally received their first real mission. Weapon systems that had never fired in anger powered up. Hundreds of thousands prepared for humanity's first interstellar war. The Lyran had sent their message to what they thought was a dead world. They were about to discover that Earth was very much alive. And very, very dangerous. The human fleet hung in the darkness between stars, 800 vessels arranged in perfect, deadly formation. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of her flagship, the UES Defiance, a dreadnought nearly 2 kilometers long, bristling with untested weaponry. "Final jump calculations complete, Admiral," Commander Jackson reported from navigation. "We'll drop out of hyperspace at the system edge in exactly 1 hour. Signal the fleet," Kane ordered, her voice resonating with authority. "All ships to battle stations. Weapons hot, shields up. We don't know what we're jumping into." Throughout the massive armada, crews scrambled. On the carrier Enterprise, fighter pilots strapped into sleek interceptors. The destroyer Lightning powered up its railgun batteries. The cruiser Thunderbolt armed its nuclear missile pods. Lieutenant Tom Harris sat at his weapons console aboard the destroyer Fury, his hands steady despite the electric hum of nervous energy. "Nervous, Tom?" Petty Officer Lisa Chin, his bunkmate and sensor operator, grinned beside him. "Terrified," Tom admitted. "We're about to fight aliens we've never seen, using weapons we've never fired to save people we've never met. That's what makes us human, Lisa replied, eyes sparkling. We're crazy enough to help strangers. On the Defiance Bridge, Kane reviewed the tactical data one last time. The Lyran transmission stated 150 Vorlag ships. Her force was numerically superior, but numbers meant nothing against superior technology. 30 seconds to jump point, Commander Jackson announced. All ships, prepare for combat insertion, Kane broadcast to the fleet, her voice echoing through every comm system. Remember why we're here, to save lives. Hit hard, hit fast, and show these Vorlag bastards what happens when they threaten innocent people. The fleet jumped. Reality twisted and stretched as 800 human warships tore through space-time itself. For a moment, an eternity, they existed between dimensions, racing faster than light. Then they arrived. The Lyran system spread before them in all its terrible beauty. The blue-green world of Lyra hung in the distance, bathed in the silver light of its 3 moons. But between the human fleet and the peaceful planet, space was choked with the dark, predatory shapes of Vorlag warships. On Lyra, in the Starlight Defense Station, Captain Alara nearly fell from her chair as alarms shrieked. "What is it?" General Theron demanded, rushing to her side. "Massive fleet signature. Just appeared at the system edge." Lieutenant Kale's voice shook. 800 contacts. 800? 800? Dr. Xylo whispered in horror. The Vorlag brought reinforcements? We're finished. But as the sensor data refined, something didn't make sense. The new ships weren't joining the Vorlag fleet. They were arranging themselves in an attack formation. Aboard his flagship, Dark Conquest, General Xylo of the Vorlag Empire studied the unexpected arrivals with cold reptilian interest. "Unknown vessels," he broadcast on all frequencies. "This is General Xylo of the Vorlag Imperial Navy. You are interfering in a lawful annexation of enemy territory. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." The response came from the largest ship in the new fleet, a signal strong and clear. "General Xylo, this is Admiral Kane of the Earth Defense Force. We are here in response to a distress call from the Lyran people. You will cease your attack and withdraw from this system immediately." "Earth?" Xylo consulted his database. "There is no inhabited world by that designation in this sector. You're looking at 800 ships that say otherwise," Kane replied calmly. "This is your only warning. Leave now or we'll make you leave." On Lyra, the Lyran leaders listened, stunned. "Earth?" Dr. Vela whispered, checking her ancient star charts. That's Sol 3. The Deathworld. "Impossible. Nothing can live on Deathworlds. The radiation alone would kill any organic life." But even as they spoke, the human fleet spread into attack formation with military precision, speaking of long, brutal experience in warfare. General Xylo studied the newcomers more carefully. Their ships were bulky, angular, lacking the elegant curves of most galactic designs. But they radiated energy signatures unlike anything in his database. "Analysis," he barked at his tactical officer. "The ships appear heavily armored, sir. Unusual weapon configurations. I'm detecting nuclear reactors on every vessel. And sir, some of these energy readings are off the charts." General Xylo had conquered 47 systems for the Vorlag Empire. He had never retreated. These newcomers, whoever they were, would learn the price of challenging Vorlag supremacy. "All ships, attack formation," he ordered. "Destroy the unknown fleet. Then proceed with the original mission." The Vorlag warships surged forward, sleek forms accelerating towards the human armada. 150 vessels against 800. The numbers favored the newcomers, but Vorlag technology had never failed them before. Admiral Kane watched the enemy fleet advance on her tactical display. Decades of preparation. Years of training. Humanity was finally going to war among the stars. "All ships, weapons free," she commanded. "Let's show them what Earth is capable of." The human fleet responded instantly. 800 warships turned their guns. Nuclear reactors roared to full power. Particle cannons charged. Missile tubes flooded with live ammunition. In the space between two fleets, the fate of 3 billion Lyran lives hung in the balance. The Deathworlders had arrived, and the galaxy was about to learn why Earth had earned its fearsome reputation. The battle for Lyra had just begun. The first shots of humanity's interstellar war erupted, painting the darkness of space with deadly fireworks. Admiral Kane watched from the bridge of the Defiance as her fleet unleashed hell. "Fire," she commanded. 800 human warships roared. The destroyer Lightning launched its railguns, sending tungsten rods hurtling through space at a significant fraction of light speed. The cruiser Thunderbolt fired a spread of nuclear-tipped missiles, each warhead capable of vaporizing a city block. The dreadnought Titan powered up its main particle cannon, a weapon designed to crack a moon in half. General Xylo watched in disbelief as the human weapon struck his advancing fleet. The lead Vorlag destroyer simply vanished. One moment it was there, the next it was an expanding cloud of superheated geese and debris. "What kind of weapons are those?" "Midao," he roared at his tactical officer. I don't know, sir. The projectile velocities are beyond our database parameters. And those missile warheads, they're nuclear fusion devices. Primitive, but incredibly destructive. Another Vorlag ship exploded, torn apart by nuclear fire, its crew instantly vaporized. "Impossible," Xylo snarled. "No civilized species uses such barbaric weapons in space combat." But the humans weren't finished. The carrier Enterprise launched its fighter wings, small, fast craft that swarmed towards the Vorlag fleet like angry wasps. Unlike the large, elegant fighters used by most galactic civilizations, human interceptors were compact killing machines, designed for one purpose: destroying enemy ships. Lieutenant Sarah Williams, piloting her fighter Hawk 7, plunged straight into the heart of the Vorlag formation. Her craft was barely 15 meters long, but it carried enough firepower to cripple ships 10 times its size. "This is Hawk Leader," she broadcast to her squadron. "Target the heavy cruisers. Hit-and-run tactics. Just like training." The human fighters struck with brutal, coordinated precision. They didn't engage in elegant dogfights or honor duels. They swarmed their targets from multiple angles, fired everything they had, then disappeared before the enemy could respond. A Vorlag heavy cruiser found itself under attack by 30 human fighters simultaneously. Missiles and cannon fire tore through its shields and armor. Within minutes, the massive ship was adrift, powerless, its hull breached in dozens of places. On Lyra, the Lyran leadership watched the battle through their long-range sensors in stunned silence. "How is this possible?" Dr. Vela whispered. "They're using nuclear weapons in space combat." That's insane." "And kinetic projectiles moving at relativistic speeds," Lieutenant Kale added, a grim awe in his voice. "The energy requirements alone should be impossible for ships that size." Captain Alara studied the tactical display as human ships maneuvered with deadly efficiency. "Look at their formation patterns," she murmured. "They're not fighting like any civilized species. They're fighting like pack hunters." She was right. The human fleet moved with a coordinated brutality of predators that had evolved from millions of years of warfare. Ships supported each other with covering fire while others flanked the enemy. They used combined arms tactics that maximized their firepower while minimizing their exposure. General Xylo watched his carefully planned battle turn into a nightmare. His fleet outnumbered the enemy 4-1 in individual engagements, but the humans never fought fair. They concentrated overwhelming force on single targets, destroyed them quickly, then moved to the next victim. "Sir, we've lost 40 ships in the first 20 minutes, his tactical officer reported, voice strained. "Their weapons they're designed to kill, not disable. No mercy, no quarter." "What about our superior technology?" Xylo demanded. "It doesn't matter, sir. They're not trying to match our technology. They're using brute force in superior numbers. And their tactics, it's like they've been fighting wars their entire evolutionary history." The human dreadnought Defiance demonstrated this perfectly as it engaged 3 Vorlag heavy cruisers simultaneously. Instead of elegant maneuvering, the massive ship simply absorbed enemy fire on its thick armor while returning devastating volleys from its main guns. Commander Jackson watched the tactical display with professional appreciation. "They're trying to fight us like gentlemen, Admiral. Nice formations, elegant maneuvers, trying to disable rather than destroy. And we're fighting like humans," Admiral Kane replied grimly. "No rules, no mercy. Whatever it takes to win." The Defiance fired its main particle cannon point blank into a Vorlag cruiser. The alien ship buckled and broke apart under the assault, its crew never having a chance to surrender. Across the battle zone, human ships demonstrated weapons and tactics that horrified the watching Lyrans. The destroyer Fury used nuclear mines to create kill zones that trapped enemy ships. The cruiser Vengeance fired cluster munitions that turned space itself into a deadly obstacle course. They fight like the galaxy is trying to kill them, General Theron observed from the defense station on Lyra. Like every battle is a fight for survival. That's because it is, Captain Alara realized, looking at their home planet's designation in their files. Sol 3, extreme gravity, violent weather, toxic atmosphere, dangerous radiation. They evolved on a world that tried to kill them every single day. A true death world. And they didn't just survive it, Dr. Vela breathed. They conquered it. The battle raged for 6 hours. General Xylo watched his fleet dissolve under the relentless human assault. These Deathworlders didn't fight wars, they fought extinctions. Every weapon, every tactic, every strategy was designed with one goal, the complete elimination of the enemy. "Sir," his communications officer called out, voice trembling. "The rear guard is requesting permission to retreat." Xylo looked at his tactical display. Of his original 150 ships, fewer than 30 remained combat effective. The human fleet had lost only 12 vessels, and they showed no signs of slowing down. "Signal General retreat," he ordered, the words bitter in his mouth. "All ships, withdraw to jump point." The surviving Vorlag vessels turned and fled, jumping to hyperspace as fast as their damaged engines could manage. Behind them, the human fleet held position, their guns still hot and ready. On Lyra, 3 billion Lyran citizens looked up at their star-filled sky with new hope. The Deathworlders had kept their promise. Official requests for assistance from dozens of other civilizations. The Security Council has voted to establish a permanent peacekeeping force in this sector of the galaxy. "What are my orders, sir?" Admiral Kane asked. "You're being promoted to Fleet Admiral," the Secretary General's holographic image replied, his voice firm with newly found purpose. "And given command of the new Galactic Protection Force. Your mission is to respond to threats against peaceful civilizations and establish Earth as the primary defensive power in this region of space." Admiral Kane felt the immense weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. Humanity had spent centuries preparing to defend Earth from alien threats. Now they would defend aliens from each other. "I'll need more ships," she stated. "They're already being built," the Secretary General confirmed. "We're converting our entire military-industrial complex to interstellar operations. Within 2 years, you'll have 5,000 ships under your command." Captain Alara watched the exchange with quiet satisfaction. The Deathworlders hadn't just saved her people. They had brought hope to the entire galaxy. For the first time in millennia, peaceful species had protectors who could not be bought, intimidated, or reasoned with by aggressors. As the human admiral ended her communication with Earth, Captain Alara spoke softly. "The galaxy is changing, isn't it?" Admiral Kane nodded, looking up at the alien stars. "Every bully in the galaxy just learned that their victims now have friends. Friends who don't back down from a fight. Across space on 100 different worlds, aggressive empires received the same message. The age of easy conquest was over. The Deathworlders had joined the galactic community, and they had made their position clear. Innocent people would be protected, no matter the cost. The Vorlag Empire and others like them could either learn to coexist peacefully or face the consequences of making enemies with a species that had learned to fight on a world that never showed mercy. The galaxy would never be the same.